And not only did I like someone that ended up being the opposite of why I like them, but also there's a very high possibility that the reason I like them was never real to begin with. Since today is Valentine's Day, it's about time that I share the origin story behind my romance webtoon, aka my love life. If you are an old reader, you would know that my webtoon is based on my life, or it used to be. So, key number one, I had a crush on guy, and I would imagine him in order to comfort myself whenever I had a hard time. That is the premise of my webtoon, and later in the webtoon, you discover like the truth behind the hard times for the heroine, and you watch the development between the heroine and our main character. In my life, however, there are key differences. Trauma that I have is different from the trauma that the main character have, and the reason that she started liking the male lead, whose name is Ian, is different from my reason. So basically, I was one day running behind my friends, when out of nowhere, a bunch of guys like bear hugged me from behind, trapping me, making it impossible for me to run away. And I was like, I was struggling, trying to get out. And then came a boy and told them to put me down and leave me alone. And they listened to him right away, and I ran without thanking him. But ever since then, I never forgot that boy. As years went by, I discovered little informations about him here and there, his name, what he's like, bits and pieces. We were in the same age, but we weren't in the same class in the first few years. And I honestly did nothing with my crush on him other than use him as a way to comfort myself and to watch him from far away. Similar to how Tel from Alien Stage used to watch Meet Z. We have a lot in common. Like, Tel liked Meet Z and thought of her whenever he struggled with surviving in Alien Stage, and I thought of my crush whenever it was hard for me to survive, because I was abused at home, I was outcasted in school. It was hard, it was tough times for me. So a few years later, during middle school, I started taking tutoring sessions in math, and he happened to take the same tutoring sessions. We didn't do much. Things started to get better towards the end of middle school as we went into a competition. And he praised me for like my academic skills, and I was so happy. And when we like lost, and the math tutor was like jamming in on me, like how could I do that, how I don't know, like she went in on me that I couldn't defend myself anymore, and I just looked at him like, please help. I looked at him like, please, and he like helped me to calm her down, like it was our decision, blah 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 blah, and she finally stopped. Thank God, bro. There were other events that happened, but I will not say it yet. It's important later on. Anyway, fast forward to high school was when our relationship started to develop even more. Like when we were finally assigned to be in the same class, and he happened to be sitting like right behind me. One time the teacher did an outrageous thing. He decided that he would make the exam like 10 models, so we wouldn't be able to cheat. I mean, you're like talking about how outrageous it is, and he like was talking, I was looking at him because he was talking, and then he got all shy and was trying to like get his words out, and I decided to finally collect my strengths and collect my courage and say something back, and that's how we started talking a little bit more. And we even at one point started like texting. But honestly, it was mostly me texting first. Um, Fast forward to the end of first year high school, towards like my birthday. At that point, I already started getting the hint that I might have made him uncomfortable. So I was like giving him a test on my birthday to see if he will say happy birthday to me. He didn't. So I decided, okay, I fucked up, so I'm gonna move on. But before that, I have already started working on my webcomic. So my webcomic, I started working on it because of all the joyful emotions that I felt with him. Like, I felt some sort of connection whenever we talked, like something deeper than just love. Like, until now, like, I've had crushes on other people, but I've never felt the same way as I did with him. It like I as I say in the description for my webtoon, a soul connection. That's how I felt. Like in the episode the 30 something, when Ian found Yona under the tree and they were talking, and they were talking as if they knew each other a long time, and they were giggling and stuff, and they were so happy. That's how I felt. That's the visualization of how I felt when I talked with him. So yeah, I decided to try and move on, because at that point I had a crush on that boy for 10 years. 10 plus years. As the years go by and I start to analyze the things that happened to me, I realized few things. Number one, that I probably definitely made him uncomfortable. Number two, that I was a bit on the obsessive side, and I do admit that I never liked him as him, but I liked his image, I liked his comfort. To imagine him as someone who would comfort me, who would protect me from danger. And number three, that he wasn't a good person. The events that I skimmed over during middle school, yeah. So basically, he had a friend, and that friend would borderline harass me. I say borderline with a very grain of salt, because like no matter how many times I told my parents, they never really picked on it, or they just like told me to brush it off. I don't know. But like whenever I told my friends he wrote that or he said that, they kept like brushing me off. So it, like, you couldn't pinpoint what is wrong, but I felt wrong. I felt uncomfortable. And he would always be right beside him, laughing, smiling, enjoying the show. Luckily, I put an end to that boy, because that boy, he was one of those boys who would harass a girl that he likes. How I know he likes me? Because one time, that was the hate that that was like the needle that destroyed it all, the hate that destroyed it all. He sent me a picture. It was like a pink wallpaper with words in white. The words were, "You are beautiful." Now tell me, ladies and gentlemen, why would a boy say to a girl that she's beautiful, and that girl, she's not his friend, she's not his sister, she's not his mom, she's nothing. Like, our only conversations is him harassing me and me telling him to shut the fuck up, respectfully. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, he said it because he likes me. So I blocked him. Because no, I am not gonna be with someone who harassed me. So I never planned on ever admitting my feelings. I just had a silly crush, and that was it. It's just that, like, bizarre that years later I discover, like, oops, I like someone who later did actions that were opposite of what I liked about him. Like, the memory that started it all is him protecting me from the harm that I was getting at school. But he never did it again. He would just watch and laugh. And not just like with his friends, like there was also another situation, but it wasn't that big of a deal. But yeah, I realized like this is another that I may tell in the future, but I basically have like fake memories, or I have memories that are not real. And I fear that that memory of him like saving me is one of them. Because there are few things that do and do not make sense. You could explain it as it's an old memory, or you could explain it as it was a dream that I believed was a memory. A boy that I created out of thin air, and I just like mistook him for being real. But yeah. So not only did I like someone that ended up being the opposite of why I like them, also there's very high possibility that the reason I like them was never real to begin with. What a life! Like, how I feel right now is weird because I want to be angry. I want to be angry at what he has done. But every time, like, I think of his face, or like I remember his face, or his smile, I just like I feel calm and happy. Just like when Tell felt calm and happy when he saw Midzi again. Uh, that is my love life. That is completely opposite from my story. Like literally, the origin of Soul's Love, like Soul's Love has Yona, Lisa, Claire, Leon, and Ian. The main cast. No, the origin is me and Lisa. Yona and Lisa. Only. There was no Claire. There was no Leon. And Ian was just an imagination. It was just me and Lisa all along. Now I feel like I've written a Disney story. Yep. So this is everything. I hope you liked the story, and I'll see you next time. Happy Valentine's Day! Bye!